Morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock on the dot, so I will give a few minutes for people to jump on. I'm really excited. This is my first live on this new page. So as you come on, I would just love you to maybe introduce yourself to the community, say where you are tuning in from. I know that there are people all over the world that are following this page, so welcome. This page has only been up and running for, I think, under a month. So the amount of followers that are here and the people that are engaged in what I stand for here on this page is absolutely beautiful. So please introduce yourselves to the community, say where you're coming from. And if you are watching it live, fantastic. I'm so glad that this time was able to fit in with you. If you're watching the replay, as I am going to upload this afterwards, then I would love you to hashtag replay in the comments, but also introduce yourself and say where you are coming from. So I'll give it a couple more minutes. I'll introduce myself. As you all know, I am Rikki. I am the Naked Yogini. And this page that I have created here is a dedication to the new venture that I am on in my life, and that is as an ambassador for Get Naked Australia. So if you are not in Australia but you are following this and you have your own community of like-minded people that love to just be naked in nature and normalize nudity, I am so happy for you. If you are not in Australia and you wish to find some kind of community like this, they are out there. Don't give up the search. And you are always welcome to join the online community that is with Get Naked Australia as well. So I've come in as an ambassador for GNA only within the last month. I am based in Brisbane, Australia, so that's in Queensland. I am Southeast Queensland, and I am the nude yoga teacher. So this is great. This is so much fun. I absolutely love that I am able to now bring this to the community of GNA members that are in Southeast Queensland. We've got two other beautiful women who are naked yoga teachers for GNA, but they are based in Sydney. So it is fantastic that I get to bring this fun little extra modality to the community up here in Queensland. So we've got a few people joined. Welcome everybody. Thank you for showing up. Let's have a little look. Where have we got people coming from? Amazing. Bateman's Bay. Yeah, let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching live from. But anyway, so I have written down the questions that have been sent in. There was a lot, so thank you so much for sending them in. We have had a lot of questions that are the same, so I have compiled them and I hope that I can answer them in just one question. I don't want the video to go for super long time so that when people are watching the replay they don't get bored, or if there are extra questions coming in through the session, then I will do another live in a couple of weeks and we will get around to answering everyone's question. So where we got Greece, Austria, Bali, Wollongong. That is so cool, you guys. Like, I don't realize how far I can reach across the world, so just hearing where you're from is incredible. I absolutely love. This is the part of social media that I love, is that there is no distance, there's no time and space. We are with each other always. So let's kick it off. The first question that I got a while ago, actually, it came from a beautiful friend, and it is, what can you do for nude activities in the colder months? So sorry, if you see me looking down, it's because I've typed the questions on my computer. So I asked this to you guys, to my followers. Now that we are in Australia, we are in autumn, so coming into winter as well. And this is my first winter as a member of Get Naked Australia. And, it's very easy to run events and workshops and fun little social activities during spring and summer. But it is starting to get a little bit cooler now. So what can we do? Does anyone out there have any tips on how we can still live a nudist lifestyle, active nudist lifestyle in the cooler months? So a few of you did answer this for me back when I posted this question, but if you've got more answers, I would love to see you type them in the chat, see if there's anything else that I haven't thought of. But firstly, someone suggested that you start your I think it's to do with, the activities. So, right, like, so if you're doing a naked yoga flow, if you're wanting to go for a hike, or if you are at the beach, maybe you can start with clothes on until you've started moving enough that you've warmed up your body. So I know that with naked yoga, if I get up in the morning and I really want to stretch and have a yoga session, but it is too cold, I will start with my jammies on, my warmer clothes, and then as my body starts to heat up from the movement, I will take the clothes off and create that heat internally. So that's one way you can do your activities, is start with clothes, and then as you warm up, take them off. The second answer was to move quickly. So if you're just wanting to do a light stretch or a walk, you might not warm up as much as you need to in order to be naked. So maybe moving a bit more quickly, making it a bit more of an energetic activity can help you keep warm. So it's all about movement, getting that blood circulating. Someone suggested to put on a heater. So if you're doing activities inside, whether it be arts and crafts or just socializing or having a dinner party, you can turn a heater on to make everyone feel nice and warm inside. And other than that, the last suggestion that I got was to be outside in the sun. So if it's not a sunny day, I guess you can try the other options. But if it is a beautiful sunny day, maybe doing your activities outside in the sun will allow you to heat up enough that being naked will still be comfortable. All right, second question. What is the speciality of nude yoga? So I feel like this is going to be different for everyone doing it. I feel like people will decide to do naked yoga or try naked yoga for different reasons. So I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, and for me, the speciality of nude yoga is the freedom and liberation I feel when I get to practice without clothes. It's like by removing the clothes, you're not restricted. And for women, like especially our yoga clothes is tight little crop tops and tight pants, and although they're stretchy, trying it without clothes, you just feel so much less restricted. Like you can have your full range of movement. And I know for myself, that's one of the things that I love about nude yoga, is not feeling restricted in any way. I think it's also a fantastic way, by removing clothes, to actually feel the sensations that are happening in your body while you are moving through your yoga flow, or even just stretching. By not having the clothes there, your skin is able to stretch, your body is able to go to the full lengths of where it wants to be, so the sensations that you feel is beautiful. And I also find it very healing. It doesn't need to be in a group setting. I, by all means, did not start doing naked yoga in a group setting. I started doing it by myself until I felt comfortable. And for me, it was a huge step forward in healing my relationship to my body, my mind-body connection while I'm doing yoga, and just learning to kind of look down at my body while I'm in these certain yoga poses and just see how beautiful it really is. So for me, it was hugely healing as well. So next question. So what are the most common benefits of doing nude yoga? So I guess that the answers that I just said definitely tie into this one as well, but it's going to be specific for everybody. We really get to learn a lot about ourselves when we start doing naked yoga, what we're comfortable with, what we're not comfortable with, certain poses where we might look down at our body and feel shame or discomfort or not like what we're seeing. And as I said, it's a great opportunity for healing. So I do suggest that everyone give it a try at home. You don't have to sign yourself up to a nude yoga class. It's very different doing it by yourself at home in the safety and comfort of your own home, and just play around with it. See what comes up for you. See how it feels. And when you do feel comfortable with it, definitely sign yourself up to a class and experience that as well. When did you start your yoga journey? Okay, so I was a dancer. I started dancing when I was, I think, 5 or 6, and I danced all through primary school, all through high school, and I went to study professional dance when I graduated high school. It didn't work out for me. I didn't end up loving the competition or the competitive nature of becoming a professional dancer. It was a bit of a toxic environment, and it changed the way I felt about pursuing that as a career. So when I stopped dancing, I obviously needed something to keep my body conditioned. I was so used to doing a lot of exercise and a lot of movement like that. So I took up yoga, and I actually started by following Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. She's beautiful. She's a wonderful woman from Texas, and she teaches the most incredible yoga classes on YouTube. So give them a go, and you can even do her classes at home naked and test yourself out there. But that's when I started my yoga journey. So it was 2015 that I started following Adriene's yoga classes on YouTube, and since then I did my yoga teacher training in India in 2018. I did a multi-style yoga teacher training, so I learned how to teach aerial, yin, hatha, and vinyasa. So it was absolutely incredible, and I find that my style of teaching is a combination of all those things, but mainly it's intuitive. I'm very in tune with the way that my body wants to move, and I honor the way that it wants to move. So that is where I started my yoga journey. Next question, does it enhance sex and improve performance? I want to say yes. And I am assuming this question was related to naked yoga. So I definitely want to say yes, because the connection to self and your body's intuition is always going to improve your sex life, because the more connected you are to yourself, the more you are able to share that connection with other people, right? Like, I hope this makes sense. But also practicing regular yoga will increase your stamina and your strength, which can then, be taken into the bedroom with your lovers. So I believe that practicing naked yoga and really finding that beautiful connection to your body and yourself will show up in your sex life as confidence and as beauty and as union. So yeah, I definitely think that it would improve. Next question, why only nude yoga? I really want to learn about yoga, but why nude only? So I definitely do clothed yoga as well, but this page that I've created here is dedicated to being an ambassador for Get Naked Australia and coming on board as their naked yoga teacher. So I definitely do practice clothed yoga, but this page specifically is dedicated to naked yoga. So they say they want to learn yoga, but why only nude? You do it however you want to do it. Like, YouTube is the best thing in the world. There are hundreds and hundreds of beautiful YouTubers or yoga teachers on YouTube that are giving free classes every day, every week, all over the world. You can find someone that you resonate with as a teacher and just start doing your classes online in the comfort of your own home. You don't even have to, I don't want to go out and pay for a gym membership or, a card at a yoga studio where you have to pay all this money when it's right there at your fingertips. But if you find that you need that accountability and that motivation from other people, then yeah, maybe get yourself into a gym that does yoga classes or a yoga studio. Just try it once a week. But, step by step. Have you always been comfortable with nudity or only since doing nude yoga? Great question. So I feel like I have always mostly been comfortable with nudity. In saying mostly, I used to hide my stomach. I'm sure every person watching this, male or female, can relate that there's a certain one part of your body that you maybe carry a little bit of shame around, or you're uncomfortable, being free in. Mine was always my stomach. So even when I was at my fittest as a full-time dancer, I still had very uncomfortable feelings around my stomach. I wouldn't like it if my partners touched my stomach. I would hide myself when I was at the beach. I never really had that freedom there. But when I started journeying towards a deeper loving relationship to my body is when that true freedom came for me. So I grew up in a household where I had a mother and a father and a younger brother, and the four of us we had a pool, we'd swim naked, we would, have bubble baths together when we were really young kids, and it was celebrated. Nudity was not something that we were taught to be ashamed of, which I feel very lucky to have grown up with the guidance from my parents around that. But as you hit puberty and things change and you start to become sexually active and you are under the influence of other people, other teenagers, your peers that are going through puberty, and it can become harder and harder to really see your own self-worth and your self-beauty. So I definitely went from being young, comfortable with being nudity, to having, that struggle of trying to find myself and learn to love my body. But now that I'm 30 years old now, and I started this journey about 5 years ago, I have come to another place where I am, obviously with the work that I do, I am completely comfortable in my body and in my sexuality and in my nudity. So the yoga actually, it wasn't a huge part of me being okay with nudity, but it was a huge part of me becoming connected to my naked body. Standing there and being naked is one thing, but going into a position where your stomach is all crunched over and you've got cellulite on the back of your leg because it's shooting out that way, and to be able to look at yourself like that and still see beauty, that's where the yoga came into it. All right, next question. What is your favorite hobby outside of yoga? Oh, I couldn't pick just one. I've got so many passions and so many loves in my life. I love to dance. I don't dance anymore like I used to, but I love to just move my body. Intuitive movement is what I like to call it, and I love that. I love music. I play the drums. I've been playing the drums since I can remember. My dad was a drummer, so I can play the drum kit and the djembe and basically all kinds of percussion. So for me, music, dance, drums, I'm so connected to rhythm and the movement of my body. I love nature. I love to travel. I love to cook. These are all just, I know you asked for one, but I can't choose one. Okay, so there's a couple of questions based around what inspired me to try yoga in the nude, what made me decide to teach naked yoga, how did I evolve into naked yoga. So I'm going to bunch all of those together and give you a little bit of history of how I got to do this. So I had never even thought of trying nude yoga when I stopped dancing and I started just doing a yoga practice at home, like I told you, with Adrian on YouTube. I never really even thought about doing it nude. Not until I was traveling around India, doing my yoga teacher training, when my cousin back in Australia sent me a message and said, "Oh my God, Rikki, I've just attended the most incredible women's naked yoga workshop, and when you get back, we're going to have to do it. It was so incredible. I could just see you teaching this kind of thing." And I was like, "Oh my God, what is it?" And she said, "It's Rosie Reese." So if anyone doesn't know Rosie, you can definitely find her here on YouTube. She is the founder and creator of Naked Awakening, which I am also a facilitator and part of the business of Naked Awakening, which I have another page dedicated to. So if you don't already follow that one is dedicated towards women's healing around body image and self-acceptance. But it was Rosie Reese that introduced me to doing yoga naked and as a form of healing. I came back from my trip overseas, and in 2019 my cousin and I went to the next Nude Yoga with Rosie workshop that hit Brisbane, and I was just sitting in this room. It's beautiful. We sit in a circle. It's only women. It's lit by candles. There's incense burning and sage burning and beautiful music playing, and we journey through self-love and self-acceptance and vulnerability and courage. And I was sitting there, and the night is like 3 hours long, so the yoga is only a small part of it. But looking around the room at all these naked female bodies doing yoga in the nude, lit by candles, and some of them are crying because they're connecting to their body for the first time, and other people have never done yoga, but they're moving in such a way that it doesn't have to look good, it just has to feel good. And I was just in awe of how simple something like this can be, but so profoundly healing. And so I started following Rosie on Instagram, and I started doing naked yoga myself at home. But then when she announced that she was running her first ever teacher training to become a facilitator, I was one of the first to put my hand up and booked my ticket in. So I am also Queensland's Naked Awakening facilitator. But all of that is shared on my other page, which I will be going live with also at midday today. So go follow that page if you like. It's Rikki Yowart, RIKKIYEOWART. next question. Cool, we got 3 questions left. We've been going for 20 minutes. That's looking good. Is your nude yoga designed for all genders to share and enjoy? Yes. On this page, yes. So before becoming an ambassador with Get Naked Australia, I was only doing nude yoga for women, as in facilitating naked yoga for women, and it was for healing. So it was a deep emotional dive into the healing of your body image struggles and releasing past shame and past trauma that you are carrying around. So now that I am an ambassador for GNA, and GNA is about normalising nudity for all genders, my classes are going to be mixed gender. So they are going to run, hopefully when we build up, I want to run once a month on the Gold Coast and once a month on Brisbane. And the classes are going to always be gender equal. So 50-50 male-female attendance, which we feel is very important to let everyone feel included and to feel safe. And yeah, so this page, it's definitely dedicated to mixed gender. My other page is more tailored for women's healing. So this page is fun for everyone. Were you allowed to be naked growing up? Oh, I think I answered that before, didn't I? But yes, I grew up in a very free home. I remember my mum walking around naked, and I never wanted to wear clothes. But yeah, it wasn't until I hit puberty where it was suggested that maybe I start wearing clothes a little bit more. All right, we've got a last question, and then I will open it up for anyone to throw in some extra questions. I might flick through the comments and see if there's any questions there. So what first got you into the naturism life? I think I was actually living this life before I'd even heard the term naturism. I'd heard of nudism and like nudist, but I had never really heard of naturism. I'm not really one to label myself as anything in particular, or to kind of subscribe to one way of living over another. So for me, I think what first... No, I was already doing it. I loved being naked in nature. Like, I'd go for hikes, and then when you'd get to the waterfall, or the swimming hole, or the top of the mountain, I always just felt so called to just kind of like strip off and just bare all, and just like totally liberated under the sun, in the wind, at the beach. I think that it was always within me. And then since finding this community with GNA and actually learning the word naturism, I can definitely say that it is a part of who I am. For me, it's all about freedom. And it's a freedom that I feel so naturally inside that just gets to be expressed. I give it permission to be expressed. So they are all the questions I had written down. To the people that have listened to the whole 23 minutes, thank you so much. Much love to you. I am going to have a little flick through the comments to see if anyone asked a question. If you have any other questions that I haven't touched on, please write them in now. I'll probably stay on for another 5 minutes and make it a half an hour video. Hi, Jenny. Where we go? Flicking through. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Laura. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Dave. Oh, welcome, everyone. There's a question. Would being 50 with average fitness cause restrictions as a beginner? No way. The only restrictions are the restrictions that you put on yourself. If you've got a really bad injury, that might be something that can cause restriction, or if you are post-surgery, then that can cause restrictions. But it's about tailoring your practice to you, not about having to keep up with what everyone's doing around you. And that's why I suggest to start off in the comfort of your own home. You can watch a couple of beginner yoga classes on YouTube, and maybe you'll find a few poses that you're not ready for or don't feel great in your body, and then you can just know that you don't need to do those. Your age is not an issue at all, and your level of fitness is not an issue at all. You just tailor yourself to you. And if you're asking this question because you want to come to my class, then please know that the classes they're super, super basic. It's not your traditional yoga class. It is more about having fun with the GNA community and just learning how to do a couple of basic poses in the nude. I definitely don't run you through anything too difficult. It is tailored for people of all ages and all levels. So yeah, the only restrictions that you'll have is the ones that you put on yourself. So just start slow and find what feels good. Do you practice nude yoga on the beach? Definitely. I would have to say that you'd probably have to find yourself a nude beach, or go at a time where you know it won't be too busy. Like sunrise and sunset is always really beautiful to practice nude yoga on the beach. There's something so just sacred about nature at that time, the day beginning and the day ending. But yeah, it's definitely possible. There are a few poses where you might get sand in certain bits, so you can also tailor your practice to suit the beach. Again, YouTube, there are beach yoga classes on there. I mean, go there for everything. Okay, there's no more questions. Again, thank you so much for listening. I actually had a really great time being able to answer all these questions, and I love doing this in a live so that people who are maybe a little bit shy to ask certain questions can still tune in and maybe have their questions answered here. So thank you again if you watched the live. Much love to you. If you are watching the replay, please comment down below and hashtag replay. If you want to join me on my other page, Rikki Yoet, I'll be going live answering questions around naked awakening, pleasure, sensuality, energy healing, my life, everything like that at midday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So Brisbane, 12 o'clock. But I love you guys. If you are not a member of GNA but are wanting to become a member, then let me know. If especially if you are Southeast Queensland based and you want to start attending my upcoming classes, let me know. Thank you guys so much, and yes, I'll be coming back on in a couple of weeks. I think I'm going to make this Q&A a bit of a regular thing, so always send in your questions and I will list them down in my computer and we'll get to them eventually. Thanks everyone. So much love to each and every one of you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Mwah. Ooh, now how do I finish?